Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for your Leeds versus Liverpool pre-match chat. My voice is just about got to normal after the weekend, and then we're playing another game on Wednesday. It's been proper frantic, hence why this is a little bit out later than normal. But yeah, thank you for being patient and waiting with me. Before we get into the video, please do smash a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. Look, yeah, Liverpool Wednesday. Wow, write it off. I hate to say it. You know me, I'm the most positive as can be. Probably not the most positive because there might be some people out there that think we can get a result on Wednesday. I'm not one of them, unfortunately. Even Oscar yesterday was surprised. He was like, "What have you done with Joe?" But yeah, Liverpool. You know, arguably them and City, the best two teams in Europe. We're not in great form. We have our whole spine out, you know, in Cooper, Calvin, and Bamford. I mean, it's difficult enough for us going to Anfield with them three in the side, let alone without your whole spine out. So it's going to be tough. And, you know, Liverpool will be aided by the fact that Manchester City dropped points against Spurs. And if they win tomorrow on Wednesday or today, if you're watching it on Wednesday, then, of course, they cut that gap to 3 points and they still have to play City. So it's all to play for. And I would argue as well, and people might disagree, but I think Jurgen Klopp will probably put more emphasis on this game than Wednesday's Carabao Cup final. Than Sunday's Carabao Cup final. Now, I know that sounds a madness, and you're probably laughing as you hear it, but hear me out. Like, he's never really held the Carabao Cup in high esteem. League, yes. Like, if you were to say to Klopp, you lose on Wednesday against Leeds, but win the Carabao Cup, I'm telling you now, he would rather it the other way around. And I think Liverpool fans would agree as well. And that's because they have an abundance of riches. They've been spoilt. They win trophies for fun. Liverpool historic, you know, Champions Leagues, like it's no tomorrow. So fair play to them, you know. So you would argue they'd look at that Carabao Cup and say, nah, because if come the end of the season, Wednesday's game costs them the title, but the other Carabao Cup, they will not be happy. And I believe Klopp would be exactly the same. And that's why, for me, he goes very, very, very strong in this game. Arguably, and I've been speaking to Gav from the LFC Day Trippers, you could argue he'll probably go with the same lineup that plays on Sunday against Chelsea, which I'd love to say it's like a feather in our cap that he sees us as no mugs kind of thing, but it's just like City have dropped points. It doesn't matter who they were going up against. They're going to go strong and they're going to come out chomping at the bit. And Leeds United, could well be put to the sword. And then you're talking, you know, is it damage limitations? And what happens is with Bielsa, we fight fire with fire, and you know sometimes it works. I just feel like the form that we're in at the minute, it's not going to against a Liverpool side that'll be chomping at the bit, as I say, and you know them in transition, and you know we could concede quite a few. Which is painful for me to say. I mean, you could argue, right? You could see the headlines like, you know, Liverpool forwards, Jota, Firmino out, according to Klopp. You could look at that and go, oh, nice, Jota's out, Firmino's out. Then you have a look at what the lineup's probably going to be. And it's Alisson in goal, Trent at right back, Konate and Virgil van Dijk at centre back, Robertson at left back. You got a midfield three, then a Fabinho, Thiago, Harvey Elliott, and then front three, Salah, Mane, Diaz. Like, Firmino and Jota out, but it doesn't mean jack. It doesn't mean jack. And look, Liverpool are the highest league scorers this season, 64. And they also boast the best home defence in the league with just 7 goals conceded. I mean, we're struggling to score goals and create anyway. So the fact that they've only conceded 7 all season tells you just how difficult of a task it's going to be. They're undefeated at home. You know, they've beaten Norwich, as I say. I know they went 1-0 behind, but they peppered them. You know, last 20 minutes were exceptional. And that gives them their 8th successive victory in all competitions. You know, and I just keep saying it. And look at us. I mean, we've conceded, I think, there's only Norwich that have conceded more goals than us this season, but we do boast the highest away goals conceded, 29. So away form this season for Leeds United's not been great anyway. And as I touched on earlier, we're without they're long-term absentees, but when you take them 3 players out of any lineup, you're going to struggle. And, we do miss Calvin, Cooper and Bamford. We'll be without Robin Koch. Now, what that does mean, and I think Bielsa alluded to it, is that Adam Forshaw will probably play in there. Which I'm happy about because I'd rather see Strauch playing at centre-back alongside Llorente. So I believe, Bielsa almost said that Forshaw will fill in for Koch in the defensive midfield role. It looks like Rafinha will be set for an immediate recall as well, and we need him in this game. How I would prefer us to line up, I said after Manchester United, that second half I took a lot of positives from. So I would like to see us finish with that same, front four kind of vibe. So for me, I would play Meslier in goal, of course. And just, I forgot to mention this against Manchester United. Meslier was poor against Manchester United. His distribution was pretty woeful. And his decision-making in terms of his distribution was very woeful. So that needs to improve. I don't know if it was the crowd and the groans that he felt. Because as I say, it was a crazy atmosphere on Sunday. But yeah, Meslier needs to improve. The back four then will remain unchanged. I think it'll be Ayling, Llorente, Strauch and Stuart Dallas. Forshaw in the Robin Koch Calvin role, if you like. Then in the midfield would be Mateus Click and Rodrigo. I think Rodrigo's, keeps getting better, hitting into form. Click, finishing needs to improve, but he was everywhere on Sunday. I'd then play Rafinha from the right, James from the left, and I would have Joffrey leading the line. He's a Liverpool lad. I'm not sure if he's an Everton or Liverpool fan. He may be neither, but I think if you're born in Liverpool, you normally support one of them two, and it's not like a lot of other clubs. If you're Liverpool, or Everton. But yeah, so Joffrey for me, I would pick him all day long. I think he comes on and he improves us every single time, and I really like Dan James, and that's why he stays in this lineup for me. Harrison's been in and out. Apart from that West Ham performance, he's largely been out, so I would drop him for the week for Wednesday night, and that would be my lineup. Will he go with that? Remains to be seen. Maybe he sticks with Harrison at the left and has James leading the line, but I'd like to see Joffrey because I believe Joffrey for me causes more problems for Canate and Virgil van Dijk than anyone else, really. There was during the Manchester United game, little flicks, putting his body about for such a young lad. His skill set's phenomenal. And, we need to start letting him off the leash. And I feel that Bielsa sort of did in, 45 minutes against Manchester United, our biggest rivals at home. Shows how much trust he has in him. And now I think the next step is we need to see him starting games. And I would go for Joffrey in this. And look, in terms of the result, I'm not confident. I can't see us getting a point. I would snap your hands off for a point, like 3 points. It's not even, I can't even comprehend that fact. So if we were to go to Anfield and somehow get 3 points, well, I'll be doing a watch along naked if that happens. But no, it's going to be tough. I mean, I'd say, the best we can hope for is a point. The best we can hope for in this game is not to not concede more than 4. They're that good. They're that good. And this isn't a reflection on, they're just that good. Them and City are, out of this world. Best teams in Europe by far. One of them will win the league. One of them will win the Champions League. That's how it'll probably go. So yeah, it's damage limitations. And as I say, the way that Liverpool are purring and the fact that City have dropped points, they're going to come out flying. Yeah, a little side bit, obviously, Harvey Elliott and Strauch as well. It'll be interesting to see how Pascal's received by the Liverpool fans. I hope he's okay because there was never anything in it specifically between Harvey Elliott and Strauch, so maybe we'll see a little embrace from them too. It'd be nice to see because, as I said, they always, there was never an issue, I don't think. It was just Klopp on it. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to get one over on them. Imagine that, all the bounce and renewed vigour and title races back on if Leeds United were then to just put them to the sword on Wednesday. And that'd be huge for us. But listen, we know what fight we're in at the minute. I felt at times throughout this season we'd be out of the woods when it comes to the relegation scrap. We're still down there. Do I think we'll get relegated? No. But these games aren't where our season will be defined, I'll be doing a watch along for the game anyway, so make sure you join me for that, please. yeah, it's greatly appreciated if you could. Smash a like on this video. Let me know your score prediction. As I say, I'm going to go for 3-0 Liverpool. Yeah, that's hard for me, that, but it's just where I'm at this moment in time. But listen, hopefully I'm wrong and we get a win, and that'll be huge. And then you'd have to look and say, oh, wow, that's quite a gap now, you know. But get Liverpool out of the way, and then I'm a little bit more confident for Saturday's fixture against Spurs. Still going to be tough, but that's one, as long as we can perform and the crowd's baying for blood a little bit like it was against Manchester United, we should be all right in that game. I'm not saying we'll win the game, but I think we can get something from it. Whereas this game, I'm like, nah, write it off. But I hope I'm wrong. As I say, I'm rambling now. Thank you as always for watching. Join me tonight on LFC Day Trippers and Grace Khan Official. I'll be doing a bit of a preview on both their channels, so make sure you join me for that. Smash a like on this, subscribe if you're new, get your comments in, hit that notification bell because I will be live tomorrow. And peace out. I love you all. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.